We have an exciting announcement. I mentioned not too far back, you know, that we were looking for new programmers for Jeepney Cafe. We have 2 time slots that are free, that have freed up. Of course, because of Amber, who is out in the Philippines right now doing her fieldwork for her PhD. What's up, Amber? I hope you're tuning in right now. So, and we have some open slots before she comes back and hopefully rejoins the Jeepney Cafe because we missed the Land is Life show. It was a really, really great show. But some exciting news. I'm pretty sure since when you guys have tuned into Jeepney Cafe over the past couple of years, it's been a couple of years now, which is crazy. We've had a specific artist or artists on the show, and the show or the artist's name is Mars and Lou. And I have Lou in the studio with us today. What's up, Lou?
Hello.
Wow. And the reason why we have Lou in the studio today is because we're going to be talking about a little bit about. We're not going to share too much, but we're going to talk about a new segment that's going to be premiering next year in January, which Lou is going to be taking on as a programmer. So just, want to welcome her to the Jeepney Cafe Collective. Yay. So really, really happy for you to join. And just to our listeners right now, there's still one more slot available. Like I said, it's going to be a sort of a 1 month kind of deal, a 1 day a month kind of deal. So, I mean, there's not a lot of commitment there. There's a lot of support behind your show. You've got a lot of veterans who have been doing radio here at CFRO for quite a long time. So really, really excited. If you want to join us, let us know on Jeepney Cafe on Facebook or hit me up. Direct message me on Facebook or let us know on Jeepney Cafe at gmail.com. And that's how Lou kind of reached out to us. But I mean, I've known you for how many years now? A few years now.
A couple years? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because we had our first show together when we had you on the show was a Balikbayan Mixtape show. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time I actually met both you and... I had both you and Mars. Yeah. And ever since then, it was just been like, we've had you a few times on the show, and you've come to a lot of the shows that we've been promoting as well with Purple Heart Social Club, Universal Mixtape, all that good stuff. So to all of our listeners, Lou is not.
I'm not leaving.
You're not leaving, and you're not new to Balikbayan Mixtape, and you're not new to Jeepney Cafe, which I think is pretty awesome. I know a lot of our listeners out there have listened and have tuned in and heard Mars and Lou, and you guys know they're amazing musicians, and it's just awesome to see you do another sort of venue within I guess arts and media, where radio is going to be taking on. It's a different medium, and it's going to be an interesting medium. Can be frustrating at times, but we'll get through it. I'll be there with you. So, so for our listeners out there, give us a quick kind of rundown of your idea. Now, when we met, how long ago was that? Was it about a month ago?
No, it was actually just a couple of weeks ago.
Was it a couple of weeks ago? Oh, wow. Okay, it was a couple of weeks ago. No, you're right. It was a couple of weeks ago. And I had asked Lou to kind of, I was kind of excited to know what kind of show, because in my head I was thinking, an arts show, but then I was like, oh man, but Balikbayan Mixtape and another art show, it might be, I don't want to be in competition or I mean, there's no competition. Like, okay, let's get that straight. It's all love. But yeah, it's one of those things where I almost didn't want to seem like we were kind of double backing on sort of the same sort of segment or same kind of style show. So when she told me this idea, and I'm going to get you to tell them this, what you're going to be doing, it kind of blew me away, mainly because, and my reaction was just kind of like, whoa, really? Because we were talking about this ever since Tinignan Masa days. I don't know if we have some listeners who've been listening since Tinignan Masa, which was our old show years and years and years ago, and it's been around since 2005. I joined Tinignan Masa in 2006, and in around 2008, 2007, 2008, we were trying to figure out another venue or another way of doing something on our show. And then when you kind of mentioned your idea, it was just like, oh my God, like finally we're going to get someone who's going to do this and do it right. So let's let our listeners know what kind of thing were you trying to, what kind of show or what was your idea that you kind of told me about.
Well, to be honest, at the very beginning, when you first had that message out there looking for programmers, I
Yeah,
did think of
yeah.
doing an art show.
Okay.
So
Which I totally would have been like, yo, no, that's
No,
totally
but
cool.
I thought about that too, and I'm just
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
I feel like there would be like a better variety if
Yeah,
we brought
yeah.
in something completely different.
For
So
sure, for sure.
I looked at what was being played
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
Jeepney Cafe, and I don't know if I've mentioned this in the past, but I actually have a little bit of background in musical theater.
Awesome.
And I did like a short program in which we looked over the different types of performing arts.
Mhm,
And one of the things
mhm.
that was specifically for radio, and it really fascinated me, and I just couldn't get it out of my head, was the idea of a radio drama.
Yeah.
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 I
And
mean, yeah, it's not something that that is as I would say it's not as mainstream here in nowadays, but with
mhm.
the rise of like podcasts and stuff like that, and even for example, in the UK, like radio dramas, they're quite a thing. So I was
Mhm.
actually able to get a lot of I was able to use a lot of modern shows
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah.
So I thought, this would be really interesting. It would be definitely different than what's already being done for Jeepney Cafe. So, yeah.
For sure. And I think when we think of radio dramas, for me it's like I think of the early days of radio and like what radio used to be, where it used to be a medium of entertainment, and it was very, very in touch with arts, mainly because there was voice actors or actors who were you didn't see them, but you felt their emotions through the airwaves, and it was really kind of, I think it's a little bit harder, mainly because you're not being seen. Like for actors are being, you're visually watching them as they as they go through emotions, or they're acting out whatever scene they're acting out, whereas on radio you're not seeing their emotions, you're hearing them. And I think for me it's going to be a bit tougher, but I think I think it's going to be amazing. Like I said, it's a medium of radio that was, in the past, and like you said, there's podcasts have kind of reemerged or have emerged, and are and it's kind of like, almost at par with radio, and to bring that element, especially within Jeepney Cafe, and the stories that you can bring, and the different kinds of, like things that it's going to be, I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited about it. So we're going to go talk to Lou a little bit more.
Mhm.
So if you guys didn't tune into the first half of the show, I kind of introduced Lou as she's going to be one of our new hosts and programmers here at Jeepney Cafe, and she's going to be producing a radio drama. So once a month, we're going to hear something that Jeepney Cafe has never ever done before, and I'm really, really happy that you're doing this, because it's a new venue for us and something new for you as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, musical theater is a background of yours, but this is going to kind of bring another element to that. So I'm really, really happy and really excited. So as far as stories go,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of ideas have you had already, or what kind of, without giving away any of the plots or anything that you've written or anything that you've thought of, what can we expect?
Without giving any plots?
Without giving it, well, I mean, I think you might have to, but
Maybe a little
don't give
bit.
away
Like,
too much.
I'm not going to give away like the big events.
No, okay,
Um,
okay.
Well, actually, funny thing with this story is that I've actually been sitting on it for about 3 to 4 years now.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be originally for theater, but of course it was really gonna be hard to get that up and staged. But
For sure.
when this opportunity came by, I was like, it wouldn't be so bad if it was produced for this sort of avenue,
Yeah,
for this medium.
yeah.
So it started with that. How I actually came into creating the story was a little bit by accident.
Wow. Okay.
I never had any sort of like really, really pressing issues that I felt like I needed to create a specific like play about or any sort of radio drama about.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it was really weird. I had a dream one day, and this story just basically came to me in that format.
Okay.
And it developed just based on all of the story exchanges that I had with my family and with my friends and their family, and
Okay.
kind of tying that into the few things that I have learned about the history of the Philippines and my own experiences as well. So, without giving too much away, it kind of spans or it covers the story of three women in the same family, but in three different generations.
Wow. Okay.
And it has, I think, the biggest, most prominent theme would have to be that it surrounds immigration. And we kind of go backwards in the story. So we'll start with, we have the grandma, the mother, and the daughter. And we'll start with the daughter's story. She's going to be a second generation Canadian.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that was an important decision for me to make because this is, I mean, specifically Jeepney Cafe is a Canadian show.
Yes.
So
yes.
I felt like not only was it going to connect with me more because for me, like, even if I am a first generation, like, I've lived in Canada for a lot of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt like it would definitely connect with a lot more people that are from here because it's
for sure.
It's stories that, you know, they probably experienced themselves. So
and I think that's and I think those stories need to be told, especially when you're looking at generations of Filipinos that have come here, either your first or second generation, third generation. You know what I mean? Like it's important to give those stories, and I think in a dramatic way, people are able to connect a little bit more, and those emotions are a little bit more rather than sitting at like a forum and people just kind of telling you the effects of immigration and what happens with the generations, first and second generation. You know what I mean? And the issues or whatever. Even when it comes to identity, right? Like, I'm pretty sure identity is going to play.
Oh, really big part.
And I think for all of us as Filipinos who either were born here or grew up here, or and even moved to Canada, it's one of those things where in the Philippines, it's kind of like given that the immigration process and coming here is going to be this glorious thing where you're going to make so much money and then you're going to be able to send money back to the Philippines to help. Whereas it's not exactly like that. You know what I mean? It's just as tough out here than it is back home, and you become subject to your degrees not meaning anything here. So if you come here as a nurse, there's a big chance that you're not going to be able to work in a hospital.
That actually plays a big part into
the
story.
Exactly. So I mean, see, this is the kind of stuff that's amazing, and it really connects with the community, and not just our community, but
a lot of other immigrant communities.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of like exactly. I can't say it any better than that. But it's one of those things where through dramatic radio or through theater or people will see or hear the emotions where they can connect a little bit more, and I think that those kind of stories and what you're going to be doing, I think is amazing. So yeah, that's awesome. Are there any other sort of stories or other than what you just mentioned that you think you'll be kind of playing on as well?
What do you mean?
Like identity is a huge piece, right? Like that's another piece. Oh, actually, my other question I wanted to ask was, sorry, I'm going to kind of jump here.
Okay.
The other question I was going to ask is it going to be like a continuing story, or is it going to be kind of like a TV show, whereas it's going to be, a season of this, and then the next set is going to be a completely different story, or is everything going to be kind of intermixed?
I think just for the sake of keeping a story good, the thing that I love about storytelling is not necessarily that it goes on, is that it makes an impact enough for people to take it with them.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm in love with the idea of having short series.
Okay.
Just for that reason.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And the great thing about it too is that they're pre-recorded, or they're recorded after the show, so we can replay them if we need to. And I think that's awesome because I think people are going to want to hear them again, or if they missed a specific show, they can either go online and just play it, right? So, whatever it is, you'll be able to access the show. And I think it's going to be an important show, mainly because of the issues and the issues that people can relate to within the community. So thank you for that, Lou. Really, really appreciate it. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm excited. And I'm excited to, see the acting and see who comes into the studio to make these stories come alive. And then when we actually play it, it's going to be so killer. I can't wait. So again, Lou, thank you so much. So let's give everyone give us a big shout out on Jeepney Cafe. Give Lou a huge shout out. Our new programmer on Jeepney Cafe. I'm super excited for it. And I can't wait till January until we hear it and we not see it, but when we hear it over the radio and kind of listen as the stories unfold. So I'm really excited, Lou. Thank you so much for reaching out to me and being a part of this collective. So
it's always like a pleasure, like whenever you invite us
Aw,
over.
thanks,
So
Lou.
this is actually it's an exciting opportunity, definitely.
It is, and I think we've got a great collective here, and you'd be such an amazing addition to it. And I can't wait.
Thanks.
I can't wait till we do our annual meeting so everybody can meet you. I think the people have met you already. Like, have you met the folks from Pinoy Rainbow? I think you have met the folks from Pinoy
I'm
Rainbow.
not sure. Maybe like once, but it was like probably by passing. Or
Oh,
something.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Or at a show or something like that.
Yeah, but I'm excited to meet everybody. So
Yeah, and I'm sure they're excited to meet you too. So there you have it, guys. We have Lou. And do you have a name for the show yet or no?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah,
okay,
but
you don't have to share it.
oh no, I mean it's fine.
Okay.
But it's kind of it was weird because it took me a long time to get to it.
Really? Okay.
And I was so sure of a name this morning, and then I'm just like, wait, there's this other name that would fit a lot better.
And what is the name?
It's actually a little piece of lyric by from a song from by Aegis.
Okay.
So they have this song called Hahanapin Ko,
Mm-hmm.
and I took the next line from that. That's the title. The next line is Kahit Saan Pa Man.
Kahit Saan Pa Man. And that's from a group called Aegis.
Yeah.
Like,
So
they're like a super band. Like they're like one of the greatest rock.
I grew
female
up
rock
on them,
bands. Yeah, they're
so-
amazing. And for all of our listeners who are in the Philippines right now, I see you, Kuya Orly and George. You guys know who Aegis is, right? Because they're like one of the number one. Like they're a huge band in the Philippines.
Mhm.
And yeah, I grew up listening to them. And that's awesome that you grew up listening to them too. For a lot of my family who are women, they love Aegis, and
Yo, man,
even
they
the
rock.
men, they're amazing, and nobody can sing like them.
Yeah.
Nobody can sing like them. So again, thank you, Lou, for coming in.
you
And
for
again,
having
the name
me.
of the show,
Kahit Saan Pa Man.
Kahit Saan Pa Man. Remember that, guys. We're gonna have that segment showing up in January. So remember, third Saturday of the month, starting January, we've got a radio drama coming on. Thanks to Lou, and thanks to all the actors who will be acting in that show. I cannot wait to be a part of that. I am so excited. So again,
Would you like a guest spot?
heck yes. But yes, thanks again. Really appreciate for coming into the studio and sharing the show with us, even though if it's a couple months ahead. All good, right? All good.